And get started. All right, let's see. Some new card states to the client. So okay, we've changed the card's visibility in the backend. I think we verified that with a debug last time. Oh, I need to actually start everything up. Let's go ahead and do that really quickly. I wonder if there's a way to script this in the VS Code. If not, I think that there's a way for me to do this. Like, if I was to use something like Tmux and NVim, I think I can have like a profile that automatically does some of this. But I forget. It's been so long since I've used those, and I've never really got like experimented with Tmux very much. Okay, so we're gonna do serve. Back in the day when I was using a screen multiplexer, I think that's what those are called. I used Scream. That was the thing that was before Tmux. It was a lot less features too. Okay, so we've got you, and backend PowerShell is fine. Probably want actually to do watch run. There we go. Get you going with a local host. Okay, so we need to, on the back end here, send information to the front end. Send a new card state to the clients. Okay. Well, let's start by looking at main state here. So we're handling toggle visibility of card. Okay, so that goes through here. Okay, so we debug the self. That's how we saw that. Flint Rusty, hello. How are you doing today? No, I don't want to do another okay. No. Let's see. Okay, so we toggle the visibility of the card. So now we need to send that information up, which means when the room does that, the room is going to have to send that. So probably this happens. So we're going to go into room. You're feeling sleepy. You have a few big decisions to make. Oh, I know what that feeling is like. The making big decisions. Especially if you like they make you feel like, oh, the entire direction of my life is going to change depending upon which of these I make, so I better make them right. But usually if you think about it logically, it's okay. In the end, still have to make the decision. You can use some opinion. Have I ever heard about EDI? I don't think so, but I'm not super good with acronyms. So maybe I have heard it and I just don't associate it with EDI. Let's see. Card. Okay, so we're gonna player toggle visibility of the card. Okay, so we know we toggled this visibility of this card. Although I suppose, yeah, okay. So now we need to tell everybody that we have. Oh, it's electronic data interchange. Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard of it. Heard of that. I don't know what that is. So I don't know if I can help you with this opinion. So yeah, we do need to send a message to the player to let them know. Yeah, we need, okay, you have two options between two jobs. Okay. Well, I mean, that's good to have those options. First is doing manual testing in EDI business. Okay. Which means you test their data. Okay. Not about testing API, software, or website, just testing data years after years after years. You're not really selling this very well, but it pays well. Well, I haven't even heard the other option yet, but I might want to caveat it pays well right now, right? Another is automation job. Automation testing in Java. So I might not be able to help you with this type of thing. I can give you two little tidbits of information. This is red. Let's not make that red. Red's scary. Let's do like that. Make it nice and big. Okay. So there's sure, fine. I'll just do red. I do remember one point in time, I don't remember where I learned this from, but there's this idea of like you can do a matrix for decision making where it'll be something like what will you get, like what opportunities will happen. So like what good will happen, what, like, you know, what good can happen, or like what will happen. I don't remember exactly what it is. It's been a long time since I've had to make one of these specific decisions. Yeah, it's sort of like pros and cons. So like what can happen, good, what can happen bad. But then the thing that like most people don't think about, and the thing that like was really important to me was going over here and saying, okay, what can not happen good? What can not happen bad? So is there one of these things where you're locking yourself out of other good things, even though there's super good things over here and a lot of like bad things over here, but maybe there's even like less bad things or something like that. Basically, the future of your life is super important. Like, it's not even just future of that job. Does this job open up other opportunities in the future for you to unlock? So I guess, and then the other piece of advice that I was given was, if you're scared of something, that's not usually a that's not a good reason to not go for an opportunity, because we can step up. Like, we as humans can adapt, we as humans can learn and improve, and the only way for us to do that is to what I call step into our ZPD. So for some of you who actually like know what I'm talking, you know, have heard me before, you may have heard this. So if we look at a graph, and basically have multiple lines in here. So ZPD is stands for Zone of Proximal Development. Now, it's an educational term, but it has like it's a great place to try to like find yourself in all the time, even if you're not like teaching or specifically trying to learn and like in an educational standpoint. Just like living your life in the zone is probably like gives you the best bang for your buck for just everything. That's of course an opinion, but this is like also you might hear some people call it like be uncomfortable all the time, like that this is like the same idea. Now this is like not super thin or thick. It can be hard to like ascertain exactly where you are, but these lines, if you're down here, you're comfortable. See, what are other things? You are not learning because it is safe and it is something you already know. So this is where also boring can happen. This is not a good place to be. Long term, this will actually make it harder to enter into here and make this line thinner. Up here is like not just uncomfortable, but like downright terrifying. This is like impossible, like actually impossible. Up here is underwater, whereas here would be like treading water. This is like uncomfortable. So if like there's one job that is clearly in here and one job that is like maybe at the edge of here, I would really seriously consider, for if it was myself, to go into this area. Now I'm biased also, like I'm in software and I don't know about EDI, so I don't know what like I don't know what the lateral and the upward momentum is, but I guess like another way to think about this is once you're finished with this EDA job, and like these days we don't have careers. Like a career spans jobs. It's not like a career at one company for the rest of our lives. We're, that time, that era is done. So now it's can you get another job with those skills that you learn at this one, and like have pay increase at least the same rate of what is it called? Inflation. Because if you can't, you're going to lose money over time. And then that's going to affect you're basically going to eventually need to exit the industry anyways. And then the other thing is like, can you do that and like learn on the side? Because like there's going to be a cliff that you're going to run into where maybe you need to like leave the industry. Can you make sure that you're ready for that at that time? And then that can help you. I mean, I'm not trying to tell you to like go into that. I'm not trying to like railroad that conversation into there. It's just more of, I want, like, if I had any advice to give, it's don't allow uncomfortability to drive your decision. Use like future thought, like risk taking. Smart risk taking is actually good. Blind risk taking is bad. And if you're already leaning in that direction, then all I've done is really just like tell you stuff you already knew, essentially. I guess, do I need to tell other players? Okay, I think I can just say, hey, other players, this is what happened, right? So like I can just broadcast the room. So we can broadcast to the room. Okay, so let's do message to all players. So that message to all players. Okay, we're going to do a custom builder new. We're going to set action. Toggle visibility of card. Yeah. Set the card. Yes. So we can tell them what the card is. Absolutely. Possibly. So before I do that, is there anything else that we want to do in here? Yes, we need to set the player ID. So we have player.id. I think we'll need to clone that. Okay. And I don't think there's anything else that we need to do here. We just set what player ID did that. Okay. And then we're going to broadcast this to the room. So self to not broadcast everyone else. Broadcast to room. And then the message to all players. Okay. So let's try this. And we should receive a message for it. Okay, you're upset. Picture card, found card. Okay, so we can destruct you. Okay. Save you. And come back to here and try this again. Okay, so to start with, if I set that, okay, expected string as the type, found undefined, but we received this, toggle visibility of card. Okay, so perfect. So we received that. We received what the card is. So it's this 4 of hearts. Visible false though. So hold on, if I do this again. Visible false. Visible false. Okay, so that actually didn't update. That didn't update. We're still trying to get visible of true in here. So we have this. Oh, because that's the wrong card. It's the player's card. So when we toggle the visibility of the card and we pass in this card here, we actually need to get the, we probably can just shadow the card and get this back, but we need to return what this card is. So we're going to return a new card. Yay Mukund. Hello, good morning. Am I using WebRTC for this at all? No, I am not doing that. I am just using WebSockets. No, yeah, so no WebRTC. Isn't WebRTC mostly for video and audio? I think you can do other data too, but it's mostly for that, right? Yeah, okay, yeah. I'm not doing that. I'm not. This is not going to have like a video element to it. At most, I'm going to have a chat. The assumption is that people are going to be doing video over Zoom at the same time. So there's no reason to like build a crappier Zoom. Yeah, and I think WebRTC is peer-to-peer, right? It's not, it doesn't use a server, like a centralized server to send over. Yeah, it's peer-to-peer. So that was another requirement, is I wanted a server-based instead of peer-to-peer for, I guess, like security reasons of like saving the IP address. Okay, so there's a turn server or something to help coordinate connections. Oh, okay. I wonder if that could obfuscate IP addresses. That being said, like that would potentially be a completely different project than what I'm working on, but it could be interesting. Okay, so if I want to return a card, so that if some card, find this one, card visibility, and okay, so this is only if we found the card, which means that this needs to be like an option card. So then in here, we're going to return the card. Now, and then in else, we're going to turn a none. Oh, wait, you have to be an okay. Whoa, not that, that. Expected, found, wait, no, some. It's too early in the morning, apparently. Also, my tea has been ready and my alarm didn't go off, or I didn't notice it, or I probably just turned off the alarm without thinking about it. It's what happens like when you're tired, you forget to drink caffeine. You have a hobby project that uses WebRTC, so you're just curious. Oh, cool. That, I could imagine that could be a lot of fun to play around with. You know, I've never really gotten into like video myself, like serving up video. I worked on one project that did it, and that was it. But I did the server stuff for it, not the front end, which is where WebRTC would have been a lot of fun. But what's your hobby project? Or if it's not like super secret. So now we have this, so back to you. So we're gonna get, now this is an option, so we have to do another if let some card here. It's this, then you, so we're only going to broadcast this out if we have this. Use the data channels, which is not video audio. You consider it like WebSockets, but timing is more precise. That's the theory anyway. I haven't gotten around to trying it. Oh, interesting. I haven't tested any like timing with web sockets. I would actually be interested in that myself for like, how good are video games with WebSockets for servers? Like, could I do a 60 frames per second game, multiplayer game with WebSockets? Over the internet? I don't know. That could be interesting though. Your hobby project is a chat room where people read plays together. Oh, so like each person is taking their part. So like they're, oh, that's cool. With timed sound effects. Oh yeah, that could be really fun. Like, to me, that could be fun to use and see in action. Okay, so let's now try this. So it should be the correct card this time. Now I don't need to do that because we have ownership of this card because it's a clone, or it's a copy really. All right, so let's try this again. I'm gonna create the game. So here is toggle visibility of the card. Here's our data, and visibility is true. I click it again, and data visibility is false. Okay, so perfect. We've set that correctly, which means now that we can. We need to find whether or not this is us. Okay, so we're gonna handle this now. in our front end. So this is going to be our index. And wait, did we set all this to do? Oh, send a new card state to the clients. So we did indeed. So, all right, so next up, client should set the visibility of the card. And I should actually be doing commits between each of these because like these are nice small little chunks. So we're sending the card back to the client. Okay, didn't have to change anything there. All right, now client should set the visibility of the card. Okay, so I'm gonna open up the index. We're gonna have this command to action. It's you. Handle toggle visibility of card. Absolutely. Okay. Handle toggle visibility of card. We're gonna get the state, and it's not the card. Sorry. This is the. Oh, what is it called? It's the message data. Message data. Okay, so what do you want me to do? Card equals. I don't think I want to do that. Oh, you've never seen Vue? Oh, so like Vue is my current favorite front end framework, and it's like there's a couple reasons for that, but like my really favorite one is an architecture that I can do where all state change happens here in the store. And I don't like actually trigger any state change outside of that. And I can do message passing, bubbling up and down, and it's really easy to tracing. Yeah, it's like Redux with one key difference is that I can bubble up events until one component does the actual dispatching to the actions. Whereas I couldn't figure out how to do that in React. In React, it's just like everyone can dispatch any event, which makes it, in my opinion, a little bit harder to debug when you're doing the wrong thing. And I can't remember, so I can't remember the source of the study, so I don't have an article or reference for any of you, but that's not going to stop me from saying it. I do remember reading an article that said that the source of like most bugs is state change. I think that's actually like something that functional programmers talk about a lot, which is like state change is like the source of where most bugs are. Therefore, minimize where your state change happens to minimize not the number of bugs, to minimize where the bugs happen. So that way, if there is a bug, you know in general what files to look for. So in this case, all the state change happens here in index. Like literally nowhere else is state being stored. I guess like there's a tiny little bit of state here and there for like some of the components, but unsafe set state. Yeah. But here it's setting that for me. Okay. Now, I can go through different options here. I didn't even notice that. So Alt. Okay, I can do. Oh, look at that. I can go through the different options that it wants me to do. Well, that's cool. Okay, so anyways, what are we trying to do here? I want to find the user and then tell that user card. Okay, so we need to find so we need to check to see first, is it my card? Let's see, so we have our hand. Okay, so first of all, is it my player ID or is it another player? Is it my player ID? Oh, Purple G. Hello. Good morning. Safety none. Um, I am doing well. A bit tired. I was up really late last night. At least a lot. I mean, okay. When I say up really late, it's like I was up till like 11:30, which is late for me. But I know most people are up a little bit later than that. Okay, so we need to first. So let's think about like what we need to do. We need to first handle this in a view. No. We need to first check what if this is us. So like, is this our card? Okay, so how can we test that? We can get out of message data, and we actually saw this, right? Player ID. So there's a player ID right here. So if the player ID is equal to player ID here. Okay, so if, and this is going to be, so I don't want to do all of those things. No, I just want to check to see. Yeah, none of those things. So this is going to be message data dot player ID. If that is equal to state dot player ID. So that part is correct. Now for the rest of it. Okay, so state dot hand dot map. So look through, okay, so map through my cards. I think this is correct. I think this is going to be correct. So we're going to do this. All right, let's try this again. Okay, so we set the visibility of the card, which now toggles this little thing to show us like, hey, can somebody see this or not? But there's an else here. If this is not our card, so this is not our card. That means we need to find through other players, map through the other player, get the player. If player ID is equal to message data.player ID, player.hand. I think this is actually correct too. Okay, so okay. Never mind. That's very not correct. Okay, so what did you do wrong? Wait. When did you add these getters? Did you just add these getters? You did. So this is something that I've been seeing some people complain about on the GitHub Copilot forums is like, why is it putting so much code out there? And there's apparently a so GitHub, there's a Copilot. Okay, number of autocomplete suggestions to fetch. Okay, 3 is fine. And wait. Okay, so there's an advanced thing we can do. Copilot autocomplete length. 100 is what they suggest, but okay, so now okay, that's too long. I don't know if this is lines or characters. Let's try like lines. If I do 5. Apparently that made 1. Okay, so that makes no difference whatsoever. Cool. Oh, thank you so much. The other thing that I remember some people suggesting is like, hey, could we just like highlight which ones we want to take and just like only take that? Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna do. Okay, we could do partial. So then, hey, okay, now we're not trying to take over the entire world. Still got errors. Did we overdo this? I think we overdid this. Okay, so you're ending this else here. So I think we need one more. That. There you go. Okay, so Copilot actually had a mistake in its code. It didn't have a closing parentheses. Okay, so, but we're here now. So, Brooks. Come on, move over to the left. Other, join 6870. Okay, so I pull a card, you pull a card. We don't see that. You make this visible. Toggle visibility of the card. Okay. Now, if I take a look at the they're here, so in view X, and I load the state. So we have other players, hands. Uh-oh. Oh, visibility is true. But you know what we need to do is we need like the actual card. So let's see, card.visible. We just want to, okay, so if that, we just probably want to say card equals, let's see. Hold on, this is the, oh, okay, we want to say card, oh, I don't think I can do that. So I think I would do card dot, yeah, okay, so card dot visible equals message, card dot suit equals that value equals that. Okay, so let's do that here. Oh no! Okay, so they all became 8s. Okay, so it kind of worked. Almost worked. To be fair, you sometimes forget closing parentheses. No, we never do that. Humans never make mistakes. Only robots that make mistakes. You ever do that in eLisp? I've never programmed in eLisp. You're gonna have to add Copilot to the authors list. Oh, actually, that's a really good point. I actually should do that. Because I've been keeping up a list in the README of all the things that I've been using. I think it's in the front end. It's like all the assets. You can also say like not describers, but like, I don't know, helpers, contributors. There we go. Contributors. Who is that? I don't know. That's not. We're gonna say GitHub Copilot. It knows who it is. Probably should put myself in there. Maybe top billing. So okay. You know what? Because it exists, Twitch chat, you're always helpful. Twitch chat doesn't really exist, so what's gonna be great is if it learns this and it starts recommending this to everyone else who just types in Twitch chat. Like everybody, like, why is it suggesting this Berserker channel? What's going on with that? Why are you doing that? Okay. What are we doing? Okay, so right now in our index, we're being a little bit overzealous with assigning this card. So like if the card ID so this actually isn't a card. This is, hold on. Oh no, okay, this is the card. This is undefined. This doesn't exist. Okay, so we need to rethink this because this is not actually correct. Okay, so if our player ID is equal to the message data, the player. Okay, so we found, let's see. No, this is our, okay, other players, player ID. Okay, so if we found the player in the other players, then we want to map through the hand. Okay, I can get behind that. Okay, so we can start this. Oh, yep. Wait, don't forget that. Wait. Here. Whoa, I didn't mean to do that. Hold on. What are you gonna do? Okay, so then we have our card. So this is the card. This is the other player's card. So how do we know to set this? I guess there's two things because I can be making it invisible again too. If the card ID is equal to, so we don't have an ID in the card. Like cards don't have IDs. Its unique ID is based upon its suit and its value. So if the message data card is visible, then take one of the invisible. Maybe we should have IDs for cards. So here's my problem, as it were. I click to make this card visible. It doesn't know which one this is. So like it's just setting them all to visible and invisible, and the other person just sees all 8s and goes, "Oh my gosh, you have 4 8 of clubs? You cheater." So I've added cheating to the game. That's cool. But these cards are invisible to the other. You're not a bug. Yeah, exactly. So let's say we start off, every card is invisible, like you can't see it. So we start like this. Then I want to click on one of these cards and make it visible. How do I know which one of these to make visible or not? Well, because I don't have IDs, like the entire idea is a card is uniquely identified by the suit and the value, but the other player doesn't have that. It's just nulls across, because if they had it in a code, like in memory, you can just open up, like, look into the memory and like see, hey, I saw the network the network message, and I now know what cards they have. That seems kind of like, BS. So I would then say, okay, well, let me see, are any of these cards, like I'm making it visible. So find the first invisible card and make it visible and assign this. I think that's what it is. We have to check to see if so if card dot visible, so if this is true, if it's true that the card is now visible, that means there's an invisible card. So then we can say if card dot visible, wait, wrong language. If not card dot visible, yes, but not exactly. Okay, so if not card dot visible, then okay, wait, what am I doing? This is weird. If message data dot card dot visible, that's what I want to do. Okay, so if the card coming in is visible, loop through all of the cards in the other player's hands. If you find one that's not visible, then we want to do essentially this stuff. Card.visible is true. Okay, so set that. But then we also need to set the data for it. So we're gonna say card.suit card.value. Now, okay, so that should set one of those. Let's go ahead and test this out. We can't make them invisible yet. Oh, no, that's too much. Go there, come back to you. 2, 4, 5, 7. Okay. So we have 3 cards. So I make them all. I made them all. And I don't want to do that. Because it loops through. It looped through them all and made them all that way. Oh, that's not what. Do I have to? Can I not use map? You can't exit early from a map, can you? There's no such thing as an early exit from a map. Oh, I think what I have to do is a for loop. Okay. For so let, I don't actually like to use I. I know like a lot of people do. I don't like to use I. So for oh, that's an interesting idea. Let card a player hand. For of loop might be interesting. Okay, so let card of player to hand is, so we know that is the other player. When you write in other languages, you always miss iterators in Rust. I do too. I do too. So we could do this. Okay, so let card a player hand if card.id. Okay, once again, there's no IDs. So of player.hand. Okay, let's try this. Now, I just want to console.log this card. Because it's been a long time since I've done a for of loop as opposed to a for in loop. And I can't exactly remember what happens. So let's try it. Yeah, because I don't need the index. The of is the value, right? Okay, so if I do that, then, okay, so we get here. So we get value, suit and value, and isn't there a visible? There's no visible? Really? Huh. That's interesting. Okay. Okay, so we have a reference to the card. You keep on thinking that I'm using an ID. I'm not using an ID. I wonder if this is telling me like Google Copilot is just saying use an ID. Stop. Don't do this. So then we want to do this exact same thing up here. If card dot, okay, so if we want to do this here. So if message data.card is visible, actually, you know what we can do? I'm gonna blow Copilot's mind here. I can just take this code and move it into here. Okay. Let's try you. So. Okay, so we got 3 cards from the other player here, and I take this 10. Oh, and then can't forget that after we do this, we need to break. We need to like get out. We're done with this loop. Okay, so I got 3 cards here. Ace, 9, king. Okay. Okay. Now, if I try to do this again, like nothing's happening because I'm trying to like turn it off. Okay, so that's cool. Now, if I want to turn it off, so that's going to be an else on here. So it's not visible. So the card is no longer visible. That means that we need to go find this card. Okay, so now it's if card.suit is equal to the metadata card.suit and card.value equals this. Yes, that's correct. Then yes, but more. Oh, you don't need this is the only suggestion that it can come up with. I'm going to do card dot yeah, so card dot visible is going to be equal to false. Absolutely true. But also card dot suit is going to be equal to null, and card dot value is going to be equal to null, and then I break. And then everything else is terrible. You. Uh-oh. What did I do? So this if goes to that. I'm missing one right here. Okay, we're back. We're back to good again. So open up you. 1638. Okay, so I open up 3 cards. We're showing the 10. We're showing the 3. We're showing the 10. We take out the 3. We take out the 10. We take out that 10. Okay, so it's working as expected. Wait. Okay, no, it is working as expected. This is not working. The entire visibility is being shown here improperly. Because like I'm seeing they're all visible, but only one of them is visible. Okay, so not quite what I was expecting to be here. Now, this should also work here too. Except for some reason, I can't see that. That's... Uh-oh, because he never got the... Oh, We need to fix that too. When you join a room, you should be able to see the other player. That's kind of important. Okay, so... When I click on this, the visibility of the card is set. So like this is correct or not? Okay, so right now, I want to know for your hand, we have 3 cards in here. The visibility is set to true on all of them. I guess that makes sense, right? Because like these are set to that. Now when I set 10, they're still all set to visible. And when I remove the 10, they're now they're still set to visible? True? That seems wrong. Um, yeah, this visibility doesn't seem to be updating. Either that or my tools aren't updating properly. Sometimes it's hard for me to tell whether or not it's really like doing the thing that I expect it to. Okay, so in here, when it's my player, oh, okay. So I'm doing state, I'm mutating the state at this point in time. This is really bad. We actually need to be doing this in a mutator using view.set in order for the front end to get it and like do it updates. Otherwise, like it's sort of like doing state updates in React without like doing the proper method. Or Angular, like I don't know if any of you like remember if you did like Angular 1 and you do stuff just sort of manually DOM manipulation. Now it's like Angular's like, I don't know what's going on anymore. You're never gonna, your two-way binding is gone forever. And you have to like manually run the whatever that like that loop thing. The I can't, it's been so long since I did Angular 1. But you had to like tell it like, hey, state updated, like go refresh everything. That's kind of what we're doing here by accident. So this is great and all that I've set this hand up. So these are state.hand.map. So I grabbed we're mutating our hand. We're mutating our hand. So we should have a mutator for like just like the reset the hand here. And I don't think, so let's just create a new one to like set the hand. We'll get the state and the hand. View that state, hand. Okay, so that should be good. Then for you, if card, then at the end of this, after this loop here, we're then going to do self dot, no, we're going to commit oh, okay, cool. Sort of. So we're going to do a commit, set hand, state.hand. So like, go set that. That's if it's mine. If it's the other players, we just manipulated the other players. And we know we manipulated only one other player, but we don't actually know that it is. So let's just go like set other players. Okay. And we'll do the same thing after this map is done. We're going to do a commit to set players. And this is the state of the other players. Okay. Try this again. Okay, so no. Okay. Like that part is working just fine, but this part is not. Because for my hand, you're all visible true. I go like this, load state. Okay, now you're all visible false. Okay, so it's setting everything to visible false in here. Oh, once again, I have this card ID thing. This is always true. This is always true. If card dot, okay, so hold on, we need to, so if card dot suit is equal to messages and okay, so let's do this, then we set you. Okay. There we go. There we go. Now I can set these and they're showing the visibility status properly. Can even add more cards. Now the order of them is different, but I'm not going to worry too much about that. We can probably fix that by actually using IDs with cards. So like ace, 8, and 3 are showing, and we see that. Okay, cool. I'm happy with that. So if I open up another one of these, let's do another localhost. We're gonna do a third. Going to join room 6702. Okay, so here's a third. They get 3 cards. Now we all see those. Okay, so this is working just fine. So client should set the visibility of the card. Okay, so as a player, I want to be able to toggle. So I'd say that is done. We can do this. Let's go ahead and also, we have one warning. Oh, yeah, I don't have this. That's true. Okay. Okay, so for the front end, we are putting the visibility of cards. Now, there's something to be said about all of this mess. So, thank you, Copilot. That's a lovely message. Okay, so I think like for my comment here for this is are having to do a lot of extra work due to the lack of IDs on the cards. It's causing us to do lots of like searching, if statements, other evil things. So perhaps switching away to like give cards a unique ID, like a UUID, would allow us to store the hand as an object, like a lookup table, instead of just in an array. Now we would lose order, so maybe that's not the best way either. Maybe keep them in an array would be best. But then that would allow us to just search for and like not have to do like a lot of this stuff. I'm going to leave this as a comment right now. I haven't decided that I necessarily want to change that. This might be something we do after MVP. We're like after we validate the entire product because it works. So I'm just going to amend that quickly. So with you, we are sending card ability data back to the client. All right. So we've got that going for us. What's next? As a player, I want to see my friend's hands when I join a game. Oh, yes. So this is that bug right now, is that when we join, we don't get any of the other people that's going on. That's sort of like the problem that we have. So let's go ahead and fix that really quickly, if we can. Right now, when we join, we're not receiving anything back. So this is going to be a back end change and the front end change. So what does this mean? We need to send, let's see, send other players' hands to the client when they join a game. Then we need to basically add the other players when we, okay, so add other players' hands to the client when we join a game. And then I think it'll just magically work. I think. So send the player's hands to the client when they join a game. So let's take a look at main state here. We have handled join room. And we do room.join. Okay, that's great. In room.join, we create this message to player and we create a message to everyone else saying like, hey, this player joined the room, which is great. But the message to the player, we also need to set like the other players, don't we? Do we even have that ability in a message? I don't think we do. In a custom message. Yeah, I don't think we do. So I guess we could just call this like other players, can't we? And you would have to be a vec of what? We need their name, we need their ID. Yeah, okay, so we need to almost like rethink this. We need the ability to send like just the full state of the game as it is like right now. So what does that mean? That means we need like look through this. We need a list of all the other players and all their hands. I guess that's pretty much it, right? We need all the other players and their hands. So when that happens, we have this player. So we have a name, we have an ID and a hand. That's fine. I think we're gonna need another struct here. Yeah, we're gonna need another struct. I wonder if this struct needs to be part of message, because like it's not something we need in the back end for this. Basically, we need like a dump of the current entire state of the game. But keeping all the, well, even with the visibility of the cards or not, because somebody might join late and they should be able to see like what's going on. Who owns this? Like where should I put this in here? It's I wonder if I should create another struct. Okay, so I wonder if I should create a like a serialized, like a player that can be serialized. So like player data maybe. Okay, so let's imagine. Let's just do this and just sort of see how it feels. If I create a I don't know if these need to be public or not. Let's try just like struct player data. Now we're gonna have the same things that we have here. So name, ID, and hand. So we're gonna have name string, ID string, hand a vec of card. Okay, that's gonna be fine. Huh. That's cool. Interesting. We also need to make this serializable. So we do want to derive, sure debug, but we also need to derive serialize and deserialize. In order to do that, we also need to pull that in. So use serde, serialize and deserialize. Okay. Hold on. I'm gonna do it in a second. Then let's create a function in player that will just return a player data. So like I don't want to do to or into. I want to create a new version of it. What's the semantic word for that? Instead of like into, I guess like player data. So pub function. To player data. I don't want to take a reference. So just a read-only reference to self is probably fine. And we're going to return a player data. Okay. So in this case, just player data. Okay, let's just do player data. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so we're going to do player data. Name, self.name. You're going to have to be cloned because that's a string. Strings don't implement copy. ID is going to be the same way. And then hand is going to be the same thing. Oh, two might, okay. You might be right. That's probably why it did like the consumed self too. So if I just do that, now in room, when we join, at this point in time, I want to now create a vector of all of the players. So we want to say like let players data, other players equals. I don't want to just do a clone like this. I want to loop through all of the players. So this is before we join. Loop through all the players in the room, and we're gonna run that function on it and get these. So this is gonna be self.players dot. Okay, so we iter. We can map. We're going to get a player, and we're going to return player dot player data. And then we're going to collect like that. So then we have to tell you exactly what type you are. So you're going to be a vec of player data. Oh, but you can't do that because you need to be public. So you do need to be public, just that way we can import you and know what type this is. All right. So now we have a list of this other player's data here, which means in this message, we now need other players. You're going to be an option with a vec of player data inside of it, which means we have a builder here. Set other players, mute self. Okay, other players is that okay? So that's fine. Okay. Wait, nope, you're unhappy. What's wrong? Other players. Clone is not satisfied. Okay, so players, you do need to have clone. Okay. Now in here, we're then going to set other players. Give it, we can take ownership of this other players. Okay. And then we're going to send the message off. I mean, so there's no errors. Okay, so let's go ahead and try this. We have these three. So game. All right, so let's put that there. Now I want to see that that receives this. So we have other code 3 6 join the room code. Okay, we have join room come in. Other players is an array. We see the name is Brooks. We see the ID. See my player ID, which is 084. Yeah, okay, that's correct. And my hand, which is okay, so that's not correct. Those should be obfuscated. We'll need to fix that. But okay, so then we could first take this up here and like actually just put this in. So this will be fine. Everything is fine. So we're gonna do. Oh, wait a second. Maybe it's not fine. And to do, we're just setting the other player's hands. Okay, let's make sure while we're here in player, we need to make sure for our hand, self.hand.clone. I think there's a hand here. Wait, wrong hand. Oh, there isn't a hand. What is this? In player, we have a vec of cards. Wait, does card? So card. I kind of want to implement like a safe clone. But I don't want to. I don't want to like impl clone for this because that'll probably not work for me. Safe copy, visibility copy function, sort of like. Oh, because okay, that would give me. Oh no. So I need a card data too. That's what I'm hearing. So I need a obstruct card data. So we can have pub suit, which is an option with a suit. Pub value, which is an option of value. Pub visible is this Boolean. Then in card, we can then have a pub, card data, self, return a card data. Okay, so we're just gonna card data. Suit is okay. No, we can't do that. It's really going to be one of two things, right? So if self.visible, then we can return card data with suit. Suit is a sum, self.suit, and value is a sum self.value, and a visible is a I guess true, yeah. Poly Insecure, hello. Is GitHub? Yes, this is GitHub Copilot. Okay. Now, it's fine. Else, I want to do a card data. Suit is none. Value is none. Visible is false. Yes. Yes. Okay. You are unhappy. Why are you unhappy? Function. Okay. So then, in player, when we're creating this player data, our hand can't just be cloned. We have to hand. This needs to be card data. This needs to be card data here. So self to hand clone. So this is now, we can't just clone this, unfortunately. But maybe what we can do, I think, okay, so it's gonna be self to hand dot iter dot map. Then we have card. I want to do card dot card data. I think it's gonna be, the collect doesn't happen in there. You're almost right. So card data, that, then we can do collect. Okay. Card data needs to implement debug. That's fine. We can totally do that. Clone. Okay. Probably clone and copy, but okay. Clone needs to be. Okay, serialize and deserialize. Then you're happy. Okay, awesome. Try this again. Game. We play. We get a bunch of cards out here. We're going to join the game late. And this is 8099. Join the room. And we see data. Okay, other players. We see one other player. We see their name is Brooks. We see their ID is correct. And we see 5 items in our hand, which is correct. We see that there's absolutely nothing in here for them. So we don't see that at all, which is awesome. Okay, so I think now I can reset you. Oh, that's, wait, hold on. My backend broke. So Brooks, what's going on? You're listening. There you go. It's like weird things when I'm like developing and like I need to restart to reconnect after I restart the back end. Not something I should have a problem with. Okay, so we're gonna set you and you're gonna be visible. So we're gonna have 3 cards. One is visible and the other 2 are invisible. And then we're gonna come to you. And we're going to join here. You're gonna have a 1761. Join with the room code, and we're gonna see our data, other players, player ID. That should be all that stuff we verified was correct, but the hand, 3 of them, One of them we know is the 5 of spades. Okay, this is awesome. So what this means to us is in our to-do, we are sending the player's hands to the client after they join the game. Perfect. Now we have a bunch of errors. Oh, it's just all of these things again. We really need to fix you. So just add this in here. It's not really like a user story. It's just more of like fix the linting problems with CR. Okay. Let's close all of you. You're all saved, and we'll send you on up. So I'm joining a game. We are sending the full game state to the front end. Okay, so that's good. And then we haven't changed the front end. Wait, we didn't change the front end at all for that, just the back end. Okay, so I think that we're good for this. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work on next time for the adding the other player's hands to the client when we join this game. And I'm mostly gonna do that because it's after 8:30, and that means